I think if you're Furia, you are very tempted to run the natures off and pick an Oracle. I feel like Oracle is really good. You're going to
Yes.
lack a little bit of team fight. That is one issue. There's not very much right now so far for Furia that's some Wyvern or Tide or Enigma or something that just wins team fights, like some big AoE ability or stunner like Earth Spirit. So that is a problem, but you can get an advantage. You can play around that. Oracle just seems like a really good pick because it blocks the Ember Spirit, takes off his chains, protects completely from the Bat Rider, and I don't think they can get a core position that deals with Bat. If they do, I'll be shocked. I'll be surprised that they run like the Bristle off lane. They'll have to run the Ricky mid or something like that to do that, and that's quite weird. But we'll see. I feel like you need to get an answer to this bat, though. I don't think you leave it uncountered. I think that's a really good way to lose this game to just the bat pick.
Well, it's so odd too when you consider the fact that they have this Ricky pick, and you can see Thunder Predator is like, we don't want you shifting. We don't want you picking up a Slark that's going to be able to just, Dark Pact off the. Huh.
Okay,
Okay. So.
it's a little interesting. Just because the bat is going to make a lot of space this game. That's a really good reason to pick Alchemist. But Ricky traditionally has been considered a countered out because you just hunt him in the jungle invis. And that game of cat and mouse that we talked about earlier, well, that's very easy to play when you have a Ricky on your team. It's very hard to hide as a mouse when there's just an invisible guy running. Imagine cat and mouse with an invisible cat. Pretty hard for the mice.
And you're a giant mouse making gold noises in the
Yes.
jungle. Yeah, pretty much.
Just dropping gold everywhere. Not
Yep.
very hard for the cat. So
Nope,
that's
not hard at all.
But the thing is, they do have the space creation of the bat versus these two cores. Basically, all these Fury heroes cannot deal with bat. So he is definitely going to be able to make enough space, depending on this pick in this game for the Alchemist. So we'll see. I like the draft from Thunder Predator, though. This throws a curveball.
They don't really have anyone great who's going to be able to hit the Ignis either. The Will-O-Wisp over on the Coddle. Like they've really got to get close quarters, and that's going to be difficult.
Point,
I think.
I'm so worried about the bat and the Alch that I don't even care if I'm Fury about the Keeper, just because I'm so concerned about dealing with this Bat Rider and Alchemist. Okay, so they get the Abaddon to deal with the bat. This doesn't exactly deal with the Alch. They can run at towers, but so this is like the okay. Is this this is an offlane Abaddon? So they're gonna try to lane the Abaddon versus the Bat Rider, and it's Duster on Natures.
Okay.
So here's what they're gonna do. Okay, wait a minute. Murdoch Bristleback. I was thinking they were gonna run the Bristleback into the Alchemist. So it's Leo style Ember. I would like to see the Bristle against the Alch if I'm Furia, the Ricky against the Ember, who will not care about that matchup, and then the Abaddon versus the Bat. I think that's the ideal situation. Ricky can kind of pressure an Alch with some levels if you play it well enough. I think it's really easy for a Bristle to counter an Alchemist. In fact, that's traditionally considered somewhat of a counter to the Alchemist just because it's so fast paced and it applies so much pressure. So we'll see how they lane it. Their players, obviously we just saw RDO play safe lane. Does he play mid at all? Does he ever go mid?
I don't ever see him mid. I think he can probably play it. I think he does play it when he plays Arc Warden.
Okay. I would like to see him mid this game. If I'm strategizing for Furia, I would put the Ricky mid. I don't think Ember does anything to a Ricky, especially in the mid lane. And then that lets the Bristle go against the Alch and the Abaddon go against the Ember. All of a sudden you win 2 lanes, you go even in 1.
I'll have to see if that's what FURIA decides to do, if they want to try to adjust.
And if you're Thunder Predator, you just want to dodge that. You just want the Alch to be against the Abaddon, who will not apply any pressure.
All right, well, it's going to be an interesting one for sure. We'll have to see if they decide to do it, if they decide to play a little bit, secretive with their lanes in the beginning to try to get that optimal matchup, but...
Yeah, let's see.
We'll find out.
Okay, so they are running Murdoch at mid, it seems. He's got mid items.
Yeah, it looks like they're aggro.
I think they're just running all their heroes to one lane to see what's going on. And then whoever is... Like, Ricky's got 323 move speed, and Abaddon has 329, so they can just run the Ricky back to bot. Or the Abaddon bot, depending. Although Ricky does have a stick, so maybe he's just preparing for the worst if he's against a bat.
I don't know. This game is already so weird to me. Like just what, like looking at what FURIA's got for a draft and the way that they have to line up everything. I think all eyes are going to be on Frank on this Batrider. This is one of his classic heroes. Just pretty excited. I believe Matthew too, being on the Tusk. This is a very popular like hero in South America. I feel that's
pretty big in
actually one of
NA
the
too.
first when I started, watching some of the Brazilian Dota. Hiko used to play a lot of Tusk, and it's just really, really good, especially, in this case, it's with the coddle, but there are ways that you can use the snowball to dodge. It does give you that nice save if necessary.
I don't really see Hiko playing those heroes too much anymore. These like Earth Spirits and stuff. I always see Hiko on the casters like Rubik and Grimstroke and things like that. At least in pubs, from my experience, I always see him on the more spellcasty heroes.
Well, I'm talking like 2 years ago too. So
yeah,
when I first started like really watching
but
the South American Seed
people still play people still play Tusk and stuff now, and I still just see Hiko playing like these spellcasters. There's just different styles of 4 position that people like playing, depending on their team as well, of course.
Yeah, it depends on the patch too, but let's see. They do have a nice ward over here on the side. You can see that the outpost has already been taken by the Batrider in the bottom lane.
Yeah,
Frank's just kind of having the time of his life. He's like, there's literally no one here. This is excellent.
He knows that there's just some lane shenanigans going on.
Looks like we will see
heading top, Ricky heading bot. Okay, so they're just sending RDO to the wolves.
I'm surprised. Maybe they figure if they show. I don't know. Just want to battle it out though for these bounty runes. You don't want to allow MNZ to get these extra bonus gold here. It's gonna be split evenly, nothing too wild. Duster already waiting over here, expecting Matthew to show up.
It's always interesting to see what happens with the bounties when there's an alchemist in the game, just because they're so important. Just to see how people theorize, like theory craft. Okay, we send 4 heroes here, 1 person here, and we can get 3 bounties, something like that. Like Duster being there, for example, at the top lane, securing that bounty, very important. Wow, they're just straight tri-laning. I guess they know Matthew might be up here to start.
I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, they just left RDO bottom against Frank, and he does have that stick. But Hiko, he's taking a lot of damage, and he's not going to be able to get away fast enough. He is going to be the first blood.
God. He got blocked by the creep wave. That is so annoying.
Very unfortunate. Matthew getting blocked in by some of these treants here. I don't think they have quite enough damage to take him down as well.
So bot lane, this is just a Ricky versus a Bat, which is obviously going to be hugely Bat favored. But when the creep wave is right in front of your tower, you don't care that much what you're against. That's the nice thing about this safe lane in the current patch.
Yeah, he definitely, I watched RDO on the bottom lane. He was creep blocking pretty hard to make sure that he got that little bit of an advantage early on. What about this mid lineup here with Murdoch versus Leo Style?
I think Murdoch will completely devastate in this matchup. There's nothing Ember does to physical damage. I suppose that's why they put the Bristle mid. It's just they know that this guy's gonna get huge here. There's no question about it. No lane shenanigans need to even happen.
Well, Leo Style made a lot of the plays earlier, so it probably feels better for Murdoch to be on a sturdier hero, and also the fact that he's not going to be able to pop off, so to speak.
Yeah, it's going to be quite rough. Leo Style's going to have to do some rotations for sure.
But I also feel like this is one of those people, although Murdoch? Is Murdoch going to be the first blood here? He has to pop the Fairy Fire. Leo Style, he's hard committing for this. He wants his kill, and he's going to be able to find it.
That is straight up an out skill. That is super nice. And he dies to the tower, so
yeah, he's going to
come back.
No mana, no health. He still got the experience. That's best case scenario for him, I feel.
Yeah, that's just an out skill. That was really nice. Leo Style just saw the opportunity and went for it.
And then Z, they're just trading a lot of hits here. This is not a very relaxing lane for an Alchemist. Are they going to get the final hit here? They get the proc, and they find it. Hiko throwing out that final click.
Interesting that they're running these lanes on Furia. This is some high skill, but also potentially risky stuff, is tri-laning like this, leaving your Ricky solo versus a Bat, but Ricky's doing pretty well. Surprisingly. In fact, he's...
I mean, the other thing is just... What's that?
He's technically beating the Batrider in lane right now.
Yeah, he's making the right moves, it seems. You know, he's able to, like, try to take advantage of something's getting pulled, moved over. Top lane, they're jumping on MNZ again. This poor Alchemist just can't get a moment of peace, as MJZ also throwing his
Ooh,
body
the
in front. They're
blocks.
trying to body block him using these little treants, and they should be able to find that kill. Duster getting himself a nice pick, not even a pick off, right? It's just literally running at you, Dota. We talked about this.
Not an aggro tri-lane that you would expect. Nature's Prophet Grimstroke Abaddon. But it is working, and this is a good way of dealing with an Alchemist. You do not let this hero just farm. Oh, mid lane. Murdoch, too tanky.
A valiant effort, but again, they already have, you know, they've got Matthew, they've got Leo Style. It's not going to be a problem. Checking with the bottom lane, RDO is actually doing very well. 18 and 1 CS, 15 and 6 on Frank, which you'd assume that Frank would be doing a little bit better than that. Because it does seem like it's a Batrider favored.
Oh, here's the
matchup.
kill, I suppose. Maybe? Possibly?
Maybe? Yeah, they're going to go for a tower dive here. RDO, he had himself a wand, though. Is going to get run down, though.
9 stacks. How do you survive that? The thing with
Well,
the new
you
bat
clearly
is that the like Firefly at level 1 and Flamebreak are just so bad. They're both nerfed so many times in a row that it looks like Frank is not able to pressure like an old bat would. But I mean, of course, he gets the kill, and all of a sudden everything turns around. But he's still doing decent for how
I think
it should be.
they have to really keep the pressure up on the Alk. I don't think RDO can really deal with Matthew making this rotation, right? Because Ricky's not even like the strongest laner in the first place.
Yep, yeah. This is good play from Thunder Predator to realize that the play is not to defensive tri-lane with their Alk. You'd rather take pressure away from him by just pressuring elsewhere and distracting. So they kind of changed their style from protecting the Alk directly to protecting the Alk indirectly. And it's working. Alk is now just able to farm up in this top lane. It's just a regular dual lane up there. At least it was for a second. Now we have Duster and Hiko are back up there because they realize what's happening here with Thunder Predator. They know that this is intentional to distract from the Alchemist, so they make sure to get up there ASAP. Murdoch
in the mid lane. He's just waiting patiently, and they just wait for him to get a little bit too low. Leo Style going to be able to just go right back to base, come back with the Remnant. He'll be full health.
This is one of those big reasons that people go for Bottle on Bristle instead of Soul Ring, is that the Soul Ring just leaves you at perpetually low HP. You're just so easy to kill, even as a Bristleback. So Bottle allows you to be kind of higher HP and still spam out those quills. So we can see that Thunder Predator is just abusing that fact. Sure, this hero's supposed to win this matchup, but Ember's very capable of killing people, especially if they're sitting at 40% HP all the time.
Yeah, it's definitely not what we expected, right? We figured that the Bristleback, I think you actually said it too, like, we expect him to totally decimate Leo Style, but you can see a bit the difference in skill and knowing, you know, how far you can push the limits on your hero here. Do have some really nice rotations coming out from Matthew constantly, which I think definitely help. But I do like this too. You can see Duster's trying to be as annoying as possible, trying to put pressure on MNZ. I wouldn't mind seeing FURIA just keep putting pressure on this top area and really forcing MNZ into a tight corner. It is an Alchemist after all.
Yeah, you wanna force him into his triangle. Once he's there, you can take the mid tower and start kind of progressing the game. Because if you go elsewhere and the Alk is in his jungle, he doesn't care. So you need to first force him into his triangle when you want to go for that mid tower, so that way you're actually around him while you're pressuring. So you definitely want to run after him in the jungle, which is exactly what FURIA is doing. But it is a little dangerous. A little more dangerous than just playing the top lane.
You can see they're trying to send some of these supports over, pushing them back. RDO
chicken.
is just
chicken.
Yeah, Duster finding a courier snipe there.
Oh god.
Or, sorry,
the other
Leo
chicken.
Style, my bad. Surprising. Hiko now, he's got the Inkswell on him. And this is the beauty of the snowball, right? The fact that if you get anywhere near that Inkswell, you just throw yourself into the snowball. No problem, not a big deal. MJZ does get taken down though because RDO making these rotations. He doesn't want to be up against the Batrider anymore. He knows that he's, you know, got the element of surprise, especially when you know that the Alchemist is going to be jungling.
So this is kind of like a new age Dota concept, maybe like 1 to 2 years, but this idea that you can do normal lanes at the start and then you put the Bat against the right hero or you put the Abaddon against the right hero. Like, Bat doesn't really want to be against the Abaddon, he doesn't really want to be mid either. Although, as I say that, Murdoch is in deep, deep doo-doo right now.
Yep. We're gonna end up losing Murdoch in the top lane. They were putting some pressure onto MNZ, but they just don't have it. Oh, it's so close.
Hit.
So close. 13 hit points.
He didn't TP to base either, so he's just chilling. Oh, what do you do with 40 HP? Oh, there you go. Thanks,
He's
caller.
not 6 yet either.
Oh, he's tanking the creeps.
Look at him, he's just taking it for. He's like, I'm so close to getting my level 6. Just do this for me, okay? Top lane, a little bit more of a scuffle going on between Leostyle and Matthew. I think RDO should be able to find this kill, be able to take down Matthew. They'll be able to find a return kill though. Hiko taken down by Leostyle. He doesn't have much mana left though now, and we're starting to see those stacks come up. He's got 1 stack of that nasal goo, 1 stack of the quills. He's gonna try to outplay RDO. Is he gonna be able to do it? No, he's got the tricks to trade. Just takes him down.
This is the fun thing about playing Ricky Carry, is that you don't really farm creeps, you farm heroes. You get to kind of run around and be an offlaner, so if you're not that interested in just hitting creeps for the entire game, then boy, it's a fun hero. Because the way that you have to get gold is to hunt.
Well, this is the perfect game for, you know, being able to hunt, like we talked about.
It is.
You know that Alchemist is just going to be hanging out in the jungle. He wasn't able to stay in lane either because of the pressure being placed upon him, so.
And they picked the Alch into Ricky. That's the confidence they have in this hero, in this game.
Frank is going to try to change it right back over. Leostyle and Matthew joining. They want to make sure that they're not getting any XP off of this, but they already managed to grab themselves the top outpost, so.
2 for 2 bounties, so no real favor on that 10-minute trade. 2 bounties each, 1 outpost each. Quite an even game. Finally, your Alch is farming though. If you're Thunder Predator, you're pretty chill with this. He's getting close to that Radiance.
How much does that swing things around then for the side of Thunder Predator? Because that's very important, obviously, that Alchemist gets that Radiance, picks up the Relic soon. Is it enough with what FURIA's got going on right now with their lineup?
I think it all depends on this BKB timing from Alch. I don't think that there's much of a great way to fight until he gets that BKB. There is just too much on the side of Furia to kind of disable him and, you know, stop him from pressing his spells. There's like multiple silences. There's sprouts, there's all sorts of annoying stuff. So he needs that BKB, and that's a long ways away. So we'll just see how they play around getting to that timing.
Drums coming out here from Frank. They'll be able to go drag back Murdoch as the rest of his team, they're nearby, but they really can't do a whole lot of anything as now Hiko getting caught by the shards. They're going to have that snowball. He does have the Inkswell up, though, so we'll buy him maybe a little bit more time if he can survive it. In fact, that's exactly what he can, but the bounce back coming out here from that flame break will end up killing Hiko as now Leostyle joining into the fight. Duster being held in place underneath the tower. Matthew tanking quite a bit of damage here. They'll actually be able to find the kill coming out from Sexy Fat as he's going to start chasing after them. It's going to be pretty difficult to get a hold of Leostyle, but they might be able to go and grab Frank, although he's made his way up to the high ground. They just don't have the chase. They don't have the lockdown, so Frank will make it out alive.
Frank would be a huge kill. I think he's got a streak on him right now, so that's definitely...
Yeah, he's 3-0-1 currently.
Yeah, okay, so he's got his streak, and even the first kill streak is a lot of gold. It's like 400 gold or something like that, or maybe it's 200. But they like 3x'd it. So that first streak, very important to get a kill on him. It's hard for them to kill him though. They don't really have much disable for a Batrider. You can just run over cliffs and sprout.
Well, they'll find the kill on the tower in the mid lane. Chase after Leostyle here. He does have the Remnant up. He's going to be able to get out of there pretty easily now as they jump forward here. RDO looking for this opening. Drops the silence. Be able to follow up, and there it is. There's the Ignis. We talked about this. Sexy Fat is just going to get taken down. Murdoch next because they just cannot seem to get their self out of the way. Duster trying to get out as well. Not going to be able to do it as Hiko, one by one, they start falling Jenkins. Hiko just trying to throw his body, trying to make some space. Will allow for RDO to get out, but the rest of the team has fallen.
Oh my god, borrowed time. He skilled borrowed time too late. He was holding the skill point, as most Abaddons do, and he skilled it right after he died. he could have salvaged that whole fight. He could have used that, turned around, and level 4 Aphotic shielded his Ricky or his Bristle. Oh god, that is soul crushing to watch. Just
He's gonna have the
one
fast
mistake.
fingers.
Yeah, you gotta be quick with that. Even quicker if you're on ping from Brazil. Good lord.
And that's gonna be the Radiance completed now for Alchemist. I'm gonna try to put some pressure, although you can see a little bit of the pressure here in the top lane. They are pinging out that they know Matthew's there. They're looking for a pick off, hopefully. Hiko starts winding up, but Matthew's sensing that probably isn't the safest place to be at this time. Gonna dance underneath the tower. Strogathate gets thrown out.
RDO needs that diffusal. He is...
Drums. Ooh, Frank. They found Murdoch again. They'll bounce back. They'll use the lasso. And just keep refreshing over here, using that Chakra Magic, followed up with a nice snowball. Now Murdoch, he's tanky, but he's not tanky enough. Not when they've got all of these heroes just putting damage on him. And again, Murdoch will fall. He is having a lot of trouble in these series.
This is definitely that Batrider pick showing why you have to be very careful. I mean, two melee cores like this that are susceptible to bat. Whichever one is the more important one, the bigger one, you just run at them and kill them. Although, as I said that, they're going to get a streak right now.
This is a pretty nice setup here. Can they get the final hit? Yes, they'll be able to find it. Hiko gonna be able to get the final hit here as Duster trying to TP himself out, not gonna be able to. Leostyle will collect himself a kill, but RDO and Hiko look like they should be able to get away. Maybe not Hiko. Throws out that Phantom's Embrace, is just gonna get chipped down here by Leostyle, and Matthew will find the final hit.
Matthew with the KS. Just position 4 things. Yeah, Leostyle had a haste for that, so the fight's just so easy. Haste on Ember. Good lord, you want to fight. Almost any scenario. Alk, this whole time, just hitting creeps. He is going for a heart next. He's going to be one tanky boy. That is another decent solution. Is heart over BKB. It's a little greedy, but if you can get another item on top of that, it's a lot better than a BKB.
And we see the power of that Ricky being able to just roam about. He's going to be taking as many opportunities as he can to try to take down Coddle. It's a little bit more difficult for some of these other heroes. They tend to be a bit more tanky. They have escapes, but is trying to like rack up some of these kills and start to get big. Duster hiding over here in this tree line. They've got decent vision. They can see everybody in the general area. They can see MNZ over here making his way back to lane. Looks like Sexy Fat takes a little bit of harass. They're not going to commit to anything though on Thunder Predator just yet. They want to make sure that they can go and grab these runes up for Leostyle. And Duster? Oh, they dropped things. He's not going to be able to TP out. That is a dead nature's prophet.
Oh my god, the courier scouted him. What? Why is he still
like
there?
that? I don't know why he was still there,
That's
actually.
so
Maybe
funny. He just had
hoping
nothing.
to
He had nothing better to
snipe.
do, I think.
Maybe he was hoping to snipe another one of like Alk's big pieces, like the Reaver, maybe, because you could see the amount of gold that he's holding onto. But he just stayed there a little bit too long.
I think so. I think he was definitely just chilling because he didn't. Okay, they take Roche. Actually, I didn't even notice that was happening because they were so subtle with that. That's once again the problem with one team playing down in this bot area. Once again, that is the Radiant advantage. Is when the enemy team plays your jungle, you just get a free Roche.
What are they going to be able to do with this, though? This is the next question.
I think there's definitely a possibility to snowball with this Ricky if you get enough kills. There's always that opportunity for Ricky. If he gets like 4 kills in a fight, he just becomes a god. So there's opportunities here, but it is looking a little bit rough because Alk is at the point where it's free for him. His game is just free. Okay, get your heart. Okay, thank you, MNC. Goodness, the courier which hadn't delivered it to him, and he was TPing. So
They're
he's
chasing
huge.
over here into the jungle.
So it looks like they have chosen this is the point to pressure. Once they have
I guess, yeah. You know, MNZ's very, very forward here. They have Frank nearby. He does have the lasso up and available if he wants to use it. MNZ's channeling up that stun. Matthew, though, on the back lines. He is going to get taken down by RDO very rapidly. They'll go back
They see
in
that
again.
he has no BKB. They see it's just a heart. This is definitely an opportunity for them.
Do you think they should have pressed that a little bit harder, or are they happy with just that quick pick off?
Maybe. But perhaps they are just more concerned with, okay, we're gonna take objectives with
Ember.
this Aegis. So they run top.
I mean, if they can get, yeah, they've got the Inkswell over here on RDO, but Leo Style staying far back underneath the safety of his own tower. They're gonna go for a dive. That's Tusk TPing in. Looks like they're thinking about it. RDO, they cancel. They drop the smoke screen. Doesn't exactly connect over here onto Leo Style.
He's just being so annoying. He's
Jump
making
forward
so
though,
much space.
MJZ again. Dropping that Ignis is gonna buy him a little bit more time, but he just keeps blinking after him. And on the back lines, RDO looks like they might end up losing that Aegis, but Hiko's sitting very, very low. Looks like they'll be able to take down Duster. Sexy Fat now too. He's left all by himself as he's just starting to get chipped away here by the Alchemist. He's already used that borrow time. Hiko just running around in circles. Sexy Fat as well, trying to hide in the tree line. Murdoch's still here, so is RDO, but that's gonna be the Aegis that's been taken down. And he's trying to just hide out into the corner. They do have the dust, they have the vision, they'll get the kill on RDO. That's a triple kill. The only person to make it out alive is Murdoch.
A little bit of an overcommitment there. I think this is a good fight to... Aoi made a video. Would also recommend that one. I'm recommending a lot of videos today, but I would recommend this one where he talks about protecting your backline as a core player. And in that fight, we saw exactly what can happen when you don't protect your backline as a core player. Is the Alc runs in, kills you, kills your entire team, and then sure, you have an Aegis as a core, so you're a god, but when your whole team is dead, your Aegis doesn't mean anything. You just respawn, you die again. So that is just over-aggression from RDO because he had the Aegis, and it punishes his team, which in turn punishes himself.
But it also, on the flip side of that, right, you saw that RDO jumped into the back lines and they managed to get the Ignis out, but is this one of these situations where, like, they just, in order to deal with this coddle, you really do need the BKB?
Yeah, it's a hard hero to deal. Once again, we looked at the draft.
Ooh. Duster, Sexy Fat, do you bite off a little bit too much here? Feels like it. Duster's gonna get just taken down by MNZ, and they're gonna use the lasso on Sexy Fat, just dragging him back. That should be another kill, and it's gonna go over to Leo Style.
Goodness. Whew. That Aegis timing was probably their last little window into this game. Of course, there's always potential. We talked about the late game. We saw what happened in the last game with the Rapier, so there is always potential, but this is definitely swinging very much so in favor of the Alchemist team. Anytime this is happening where you pick up that heart and you start fighting and you start winning, it's like Radiance on Wraith King. You start winning the fight. You know, the first fight you win, and then all of a sudden every single fight after that seems a lot easier. This is what is happening.
That was a pretty good snipe. That was the recipe for the Silver Edge.
God, he's got a whole Silver Edge? I feel like he just picked up a heart.
He just did, yeah. This is the power of an Alchemist.
Lord.
An Alchemist who can farm, an Alchemist who can fight, an Alchemist who has died only once this entire game so far.
Pretty solid hero.
I mean, they're doing what they need to do on the side of Thunder Predator. They're 8k ahead right now. I mean, again, it is, you know, an Alchemist. That does tend to happen.
Just slowly taking every tower. They know that they cannot be pressured with this Alc in the front. If they just stick as a unit, it's really hard for them to lose this game.
Well, here's the question, though, too. And granted, they do have good candidates for the boots of travel. But you're seeing, again, the Rat Dota coming out from FURIA, right? See, that Duster is just split pushing the entire time. He's got Murdoch there, too. Sexy Fat's just running around in circles around his tower. All right.
The problem, though, is that FURIA has one hero that can do this. Ricky can't do this.
Right.
Abaddon can't do this. It's Furion. Maybe Hiko can do it? It's pretty hard.
Oh, they use the lasso to drag Duster back and cancel the TP. And that's the other thing you have to be afraid of.
The Batrider is a very good hero against this Rat Dota.
Well, the buyback coming out? Alright, looks like they want to try to get this fight here over onto MNZ. They've already dusted him, they've got the soulbind on him. He's everything in the kitchen sink, and they still manage to take him down. They'll go and drop the Ignis. It's just not going to last very long as they're chasing after Matthew now. He's got the snowball. As you can see, he's going to turn right back around over onto RDO, but it doesn't matter. RDO will find that kill. And they didn't have the lasso for that fight either, because Frank used it previously on Duster.
RDO has Deso, so despite not having, you know, he's almost at half the net worth of
Leo
an
style? I don't think they have enough damage, no. Oh, RDO
Surprising.
might have... Does he go too far? He needs to get out of there. Does have the blink strike.
God, now Hiko.
This game just feels so crazy, honestly. The amount of back and forths and the buybacks and...
I think that was a little bit of out of position from the Alchemist. I think if you're MNZ, it's just like, okay, yes, you play the front lines, but when you're arguably your strongest hero that's not you is running away and trying to kill this Nature's Prophet, and everybody's running towards that, no longer can you play the perimeter of the kind of area like that and be so aggressive. So he just kind of got caught out. I think that was a good job from FURIA, though, like making them not play as a formation. That is definitely... It does cost the Nature's buyback, though, because at this point in the game, how can you do that and then take the fight without having one of your heroes die and then buy back? Because I think a 4v5, you can't even win. Even if you split them up, that would still be a 4v4. And so you're not going to win that if you're FURIA. So you need to buy back somebody. And now they can't do that, obviously.
That's placing some vision around the pit, wants to make sure that he knows when that Roche is back up again. And I do like the fact that RDO, oh, the smoke actually coming out from the side of Thunder Predator. Gonna lead with Frank, he's got Blink, he's got the Force Staff, and he's got the... Ooh, looks like it's gonna be Sexy Fat who gets caught out here. And again, we've talked about this. If it's gonna be one of the heroes that gets caught out, you want it to be your offlaner, you want it to be the tanky guy, the one that they use a lot of spells and time on. So, I think if you're FURIA, you're not happy that you're losing Sexy Fat, but you're happier that it is Sexy Fat who's gonna get taken down. They're just really keeping an eye on this Roche.
I like the play from Frank to just kind of play on the high ground there with Firefly and not utilize the lasso when the Abaddon popped the ultimate. I know it could be very debating to want to do that because it's like, okay, the ult is down. How is he going to purge it? I'm going to lasso. But he was looking for backlines. He was looking for like a re-engagement coming off of the Abaddon death. But it wasn't there, but still really nice discipline from him.
Ooh, Hiko. Hiko needs to TP out. There are quite a few people in the vicinity. Although it looks like they don't care. So, alright.
Fury's very good at playing this annoying split push, sit in trees style. I gotta say, they are very committed to this as a team, and it is impressive. It's quite annoying. I see why they beat teams that otherwise would consider having maybe higher skilled players. You know, like this is why this team is more dominant in the region than before. I think is that they have a really good synergy in a lot of ways.
I think that's huge. Yeah, a lot of the South American teams tend to shuffle quite a bit. In fact, I think I just saw the other day that Pain Gaming disbanded their Dota 2 roster for now. I'm not 100% sure, because it was written all in Brazilian Portuguese.
Fake news.
Oh, they smoked right underneath the ward! They know! They absolutely know.
They're baiting the bristle. Please, please go on me. Ooh, Ember Haste Rune. That's pretty
not
big.
what they want.
No Alk, though. Alk is chilling bot.
I think they want to try to secure up this Roche, so they were hoping to get like a pick off because it did just come back up. And again, Sexy Fat gonna be the one who eats the chains, is the slower one, although they have their eyes on Duster, they're gonna try to bounce him back. Sexy Fat just kind of hanging out there, has those chains on him, just waiting patiently. But that's gonna be Firefly on cooldown. Not for a whole lot of time, but they could potentially make something happen, especially if they know that the Alchemist isn't there.
Alk is pretty cool just farming during this, though. You know, it's like that's the thing. If you have an Alk on your team, and the enemy team is just cowering in fear from the rest of your team, you're like, oh, okay, thanks, guys. I'm going to just hit some creeps. Because he does have the cleave talent now, and with this ridiculous Aghanim Scepter thing you can do, give people like moon shards and eggs. It's pretty valuable to keep hitting creeps.
He was checking the Roche pit just to make sure they weren't there. Is separated from the rest of his team. Do you want to go fighting into the high ground here? They'll go immediately, dragging right back here, using that lasso, but it doesn't even matter. MNZ is stuck together with Leostar, and he's completely just cordoned off from the rest of his team thanks to that Sprout. That feels bad right there.
They're getting out because the Alcult is about to go down. No.
Yeah.
Let's see, what do they use? They use Lasso. They still have Caught Ult. They got some
ended up
items
using
to farm,
the Soulbind coming out over on Hiko, but yeah, they still have some of their big teamfight ultis, especially that Will-O-Wisp. It is level 1 though, so. And how close are we to RDO's BKB now? Still a
He
decent.
is a little bit. Yeah, he's got
Yeah.
some. He's got some. This hero, man, if you are not getting kills, it farms so slowly.
Mm.
Unless you get a what's it called? Battle Fury. That's some build that people are doing. Okay, Murdoch. This is a
Okay,
hard kill.
Hiko and Matthew are just fighting over here. Murdoch is getting held in place by the Ignis. That was a bit of misplay, I think. Hiko also gonna get taken down, and now Sexy Fat has popped that borrow time yet again. He's tanking up a lot of damage, but there's nothing. There's no one there. There's no one there to help him.
Wow, that is 3 dead.
They're going
for
right
50
back
seconds.
to split push. It feels.
Look at the damage they're doing to the building with backdoor. They can go straight through, maybe.
Yeah, they don't have buyback on Murdoch. Murdoch has not felt great this game, unfortunately. It seems that he's really been struggling playing against Leo Style. And I told you, you know, I'm a big Leo Style fan. I feel like he's one of the best mid laners in South America at this time. But again, they're running into this issue of, okay, you've got Duster who's trying to do some pushing. You've got RDO, again, Ricky not known for his ability to hit buildings, but
He's trying his darndest.
that's all he can do because he can't go into that. He can't fight that.
Uh-oh,
Duster, you
no.
stayed too long, my friend. Too long. And that's another kill for MNZ.
So 2 racks for nothing. There's always the rapier. There's always a potential for a rapier in Dota. We've talked about it.
There is always the rapier. You are correct, Jenkins.
But see, the issue is there's an alchemist on the enemy team, and he's still got about 30,000 net worth that he can give to his team. So he's got a lot of room to grow. If this was before, I'd say, oh, the alchemist slotted. He's done. But this is not the case.
It definitely feels like FURIA is just hemorrhaging kills now. They're just getting picked off one by one. They have good scouting. You know, Leo Style's able to just zip in very, very easily.
Although this bot lane, this tier 2 is a bit of a problem. They need to start kind of playing in this area probably after they take this Roche. Just push down through the bot
Oh my god.
lane.
We've got the Abyssal Blade online now for MNZ. This guy is a big old baddie.
It's a big boy.
Yeah. Salt Cuirass completed, Silver's Edge. Everything a growing elk needs to take the enemy base.
I wonder what item he drops for the Aegis. Oh, to the Radiance. Okay, interesting.
Is that what you would have picked?
He might swap out the boots later during like the siege. But yeah, it makes sense. The other items are kind of like more late game items.
Man, hats
Just
off
run.
to Frank this game. 5-1 and 18. This guy, I told you, this is one of his most comfortable heroes, and he's really showing it right now in the way that he was able to make the space for the Alk, who was forced out of lane earlier, and just putting pressure elsewhere so that way MNZ can recover and become the raid boss that he's becoming now.
Yeah, it doesn't look as flashy when you look at like the net worth that he's kind of got, you know, for a winning team like this, like a support's net worth. But
Ooh,
you know,
smoke.
somebody's got to be getting the kills. You know, somebody's got to make stuff happen.
Looks like they're gonna jump in immediately. They take down MJZ. They don't want any of that disgusting Will-O-Wisp anywhere near them.
I think that a
bait.
predator can still fight.
I think they can
still
go
fight.
after Frank right now. And that's exactly what they're going to do. They're looking for him. Just have the lasso. There is Matthew nearby with the snowball, too.
Dude,
Looks
where's
like
the
they're going to
Alchemy?
back off, though.
Kill some people. Alk, what are you doing? Oh, he did swap the boots out. Okay, so he's going to use the spider legs, so he doesn't need boots. I see. Good. Smart play.
He's looking for this opening here. He does have the Silver's Edge to deal with Murdoch. He's just going to toss it back. Farm up. Oh, God, look how fast he just farms up all of those
The money.
delicious treants. And on the back lines, it's like RDO was trying to make some moves on Leo style, but are just not able to find enough damage quickly enough. Jump forward again. Frank dragging back on Duster, but immediately it's going to get taken off by that Aphotic Shield. Phantom's Embrace gets thrown out as well. And on the back line, they do manage to take down Leo style. It's a big victory for them. MNZ, though, finding Murdoch here, just chipping away, but he's still alive. The Ignis going to pull them right back in again as Murdoch, he's trying to stay alive, but he just cannot seem to do it. Soulbind is going to get thrown out now, but you don't have that Bristleback to do what you need here, Duster. He stays alive a little bit longer, but MNZ, he's just doing so much damage. RDO jumping in. He's looking to see if he can just maybe get anything else done here, but he's struggling so hard. He just doesn't have that control. Duster coming right back in. He's got that buyback. They'll be able to take down Sexy Fat. More buybacks coming out. They don't want to let this happen. Duster is trying to run for his life now. Ardio looking for this opening. It's going to be the snowball, though, picking them up, dragging them right back over here. They'll get the kill onto Duster, but Ardio will be able to find the kill on Matthew. As you can see, that stroke of fate slowing them down just a little bit. We had a lot of buybacks here. Ardio, he doesn't want to leap. Oh, but the Abyssal coming out. They're going to try to keep him alive. He's got a lot of signs. They get a couple of these hits off over as well, as Ardio is forced to try to run away. As now FURIA. Oh, can they find this? Can they get the final kill here? No. Inkswell coming out. There are so many creeps. So look at these towers just getting slammed away here, Jenkins. They have to get home. They have to deal with this.
I think the MVP of that fight was the Diffusal Blade. Like, this item is just preventing Alk and Batrider from going back in because they just don't have any mana. Like, there's no way that you kill the Alk, but he's effectively dead to some degree if you take all of his mana away. So that was... That could have been really bad if there was no Diffusal Blade. That would have been the game for FURIA. I mean, it cost all
Yeah,
their
but look at him.
buybacks,
He just gets his mana right back again, thanks to MJZ. Oh, the jump in the back line. He has the Ghost Scepter, though. This is a huge deal. If they can take down RDO, he's got the BKB. They'll be able to go throughout the Soulbind. They're going to try to slow him down. MNZ being held into place here. Sexy Fat, he's just got to walk away. They don't have anything else that they can throw. And that is, like we said, the Soulbind already thrown out. They don't have it available now. He's just going to be able to walk right back in, chip away at this building. Look how fast he's hitting. Look at this damage.
Okay, so Grimstroke does have an Aghanim Scepter now. That's a 150% damage illusion of Alchemist. That is
actually super dope.
I'm interested to see how this goes. Oh, they're just killing it. Uh-oh. All right. That's how it goes, I guess.
I mean, the idea is great, but that's a rip. I don't know how you take down MNZ. I really have absolutely no idea. Again, the Will-O-Wisp gets dropped, RDO gets taken down, there is no buyback, the GG gets called. I think they waited too long, MNZ got too big. And Thunder Predator, they're back in. They've shook off that game number 1 funk, and they look good.
Yeah, that was impressive. I would say, if you're FURIA, you might want to consider picking more heroes that reflect your best play style. More heroes that are able to do the split pushing and the ganking and that sort of thing. You know, like Murdoch felt like a complete non-factor in that game. And that is the polar opposite of what I felt in the first game with the Queen of Pain. I felt like he was a massive annoyance for Thunder Predator. And then in this game, he was basically ignored unless Thunder Predator were killing him.
Yeah, I have not been impressed with Murdoch in the series, unfortunately. You know, the first game he got a really good hero, Queen of Pain, but he struggled pretty hard in lane against Leo's style. Did manage to bounce back, but this time, the Bristle was a non-factor. I don't like Sexy Fat on the Abaddon, honestly. I think I'd like to see him on something that's a little bit more active. On FURIA, you know, we talked about, like, he's been playing the Centaur. You could have seen a Mars, could have seen, you know, even his Slardar would have been more impact. I feel he's great because he's able to take off that sticky napalm, but I feel like so much of their draft felt kind of reactive instead of, you know, them playing what they're comfortable with. So you know, hats off Frank the Tank, man. That dude, I've told you, his Batrider is very, very good. I think MJZ's Coddle was very helpful as well. Leo Style had a very nice game, and MNZ, you know, again, he saw, all right, I can't stand this lane. I need somebody who's going to be able to make me space. Frank said, don't worry, I got it. Same thing with, you know, Leo Style. They moved together. It just, all the pieces came together really nicely for Thunder Predator.
And I think this all goes back to the draft. I think the fact that they had this Batrider, which was really good against the two cores, and then this curveball pick of Alchemist, where it's like, okay, what do we do to deal with these two cheese heroes? We can pick one to deal with, and they chose the Bat. They chose an Abaddon versus the Bat, and like you said, maybe this forces Sexy Fat onto some weird hero that he's not particularly fond of in the current patch. You know, he's playing against Batrider as Abaddon, who I haven't seen an Abaddon in a long time. I'm going to be real with you. I think
I saw Bulba play it during ESL.
Right.
But that's the last time I think I've seen it.
And then who's the Alk answer? Where's the Timbersaw? Where's the hero, the Ursa that just dumpsters him in lane? Yeah. They did this aggro tri-lane, which I do like that, where they answered the Batrider with the Abaddon pick. and then they did this aggro tri lane to stop the Alk. But then Thunder Predator had this beautiful kind of flip that switch in their head where they're like, okay, this isn't working. We're going to make space elsewhere for the Alchemist. And the moment they flipped that switch, the game started looking really, really nice in their favor. So kudos to them, where they're able to very quickly just change what their kind of play style is in order to fit. Okay, this is what the enemy team's doing. This is working for them. Let's try something different. Okay, this is working. We'll stick with this. And then it did, and they stuck with it until they won.
For sure. So we are tied up now in this series. We are at 1-1, FURIA versus Thunder Predator. Last one is for all the marbles. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll see who's going to take the victory in this best of 3.